Good morning, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining our January monthly training. The topic is on the newly updated Tag app, which is set to release by the end of the month to the first week of February. So those of you that are on the call today get a sneak peek at what is coming. So on top of the new look and feel, there are some new features that I'm excited to showcase today. But before we dive into the Tag app, there are some Salamander Live administrative items that need to get set up to ensure that your users can log in and operate the Tag app to its fullest. In Salamander Live, we're going to look at how to get someone access and permissions to the Tag app. We're going to turn on availability settings for the Tag app. And last, view the resource availability list to see who is available or not available based on the status users set within the app. When we get into the Tag app, we're going to cover all the features available within the Tag section and then look at how to remotely check into an event. There's basically three areas we're going to see within the Tag app. We're going to cover two of the three. As I walk through each, please feel free to send me questions or comments through the chat. So let's first take a look at Salamander Live. So in Salamander Live, let's first take a look at access and permissions. So you'll need to have administrative permissions in order to access this. If you go to Account, Security Users, and then from here, you just have to make sure that your security user has access to the Tag app. So they've been licensed and they have a role that gives them access. Not only that, there is another requirement. One of the most important requirements in this case is making sure that their security user profile is linked to their people profile. Okay, so you'll see that this record is linked. That means they're good to go. They have a people profile that is linked here. There's two ways you can do this. One is you can go into the edit. So under details, click edit. And then you can change the full name right here, which would then allow you to pick from a drop list. So as you start typing, you'll see a list of different names that pop down. So that's one way to do it. The other way is through this here. So I'm going to delete this so you guys can see what it looks like when you don't have a linked record. So you can see in here, not linked. Generally, this is not required for you to be able to use additional functionality, except if when it's with the Tag app. So you have a click here button, and you have two ways. One is, again, you can type in the full name. So in this case, if we just type in H, you'll see it drops down, and I can select it from the drop down. And the other way that you have is that you can actually click to create a new credential with the existing full name. So in this case, if I cancel this really quick, I can click this, and it's going to create a new personnel record with this person's base information. So that's three different ways that you can do this. From having a linked record, you also want to make sure that the person is licensed to access the Tag app. So you have to have a license, make sure that you select the invoice from the drop-down and then click Save Changes. And last but not least is the role, ensuring that that user has a role to access and use the Tag app. The role is App User No Medical. Now, obviously, if they're an administrator and they are also a Tag app user, they don't need an additional role to get access to the Tag app. So I did this just to showcase for today and what is the role. So if you don't go through the select a role, it's that fourth one down from the bottom. And then tie it to the organization in which they are a part of. So that's access and permissions. From there, let's take a look at availability settings. So if you've been in my trainings for the past year when we first released Salamander Live version 3, there is a setting under account settings that I always skipped over because that setting was related to the Tag app. I can finally showcase that today. So for account settings, in order to access this, you must be an account administrator. An account administrator is different than a regular administrator. An account administrator is an administrator that's set all the way at the very top. So the purchasing organization at the top. Okay, and then you have to be an administrator for that role. So under account settings, if you have access, you'd click on account settings. In this case, this person does not. So let me just get out of this account real quick. Let me go to a user that has access. So if you try to click on it, if you're not an account administrator, you're just gonna get that spinning. So let me log out of that and go into a user that actually has it. Go to account settings. When you're in the account settings, simply click on availability settings. So this here, what is this all about? So the availability settings, what this does is a section that allows you to turn on and allow your tag app users to select their availability status within the tag app. When they select this, their status is now available and viewable through the resource
I'm there. Thank you.
availability list within Salamander Live
Thank
on
you.
the
Bye.
people side. All right, so what this does is it just allows resource managers to know who's available to respond to an event. Okay, so again, this section is restricted to account administrators. So as an account administrator, you'll see that you're going to have three areas here that you can turn on. So you can toggle them on and off. Most likely, you're probably going to toggle them on and then not touch this section again. So I say three because there is one right here. It's called availability schedule. This is not going to be a part of the release. This is actually getting removed. This will be something for the future if we decided to add it back in. So to make your changes, what you need to do is click on the edit button, top right. From there, this is where you can toggle them on. So by default, they will be off. From here, you'll have to toggle it on. So availability. So in order for your tag app users to even turn on their availability, you have to toggle this on. From here, you have two options. So you can activate our default availability statuses. So this includes not available, it includes on call, busy, and available. Okay, so there's different colors that's associated to those statuses when the tag app users select that within the tag app. From there, if you also want to be able to set up your own custom availability statuses, you can turn that on and you can add in your custom statuses. So when you turn this on, you can add whatever you want. So this is free text, open text right here, and there's pin colors right here that you can select from: green, orange, red, and gray. We probably will add in a couple more colors. I don't know if it'll be added in by time of release or if it'll be in that next release. But from here, you can name it what you need to. Like, for example, I added do not disturb, not active, and I chose red colors. From here, you can also choose to show location. So what this is doing is that if you toggle this on, as the tag app user selects that custom status, it's going to pin their location onto that resource availability map that's within Salamander Live. So that you can actually see and pinpoint their location as they turn their availability statuses on, and then they're selecting their custom status. Okay. So that's what this is. So just make sure that once you do this, you click save. Okay, you click save. You'll notice here that there is not a edit button. So you want to make sure that you have the naming convention the way that you need to before you click the add button. Either that, you're going to have to delete it and then re-add it again. So this is something you'll probably want to do before your tag app users start utilizing the tag app. So you want to come up with that custom status availability, get the naming convention correctly and the color correctly, and then save and then start having your tag app users start utilizing those statuses. As they set their statuses, you're going to see that you can go into the people. So under people, again, this is another area that I've always skipped in my past trainings because this area is related to the tag app. And you'll see that within the people list, you're going to see that there is another button, very similar to the equipment side where it's deployable. This is the resource availability list. So this list is pulling data from the tag apps. So all your tag app users, as they are changing their availability status to on, and then selecting a status. So depending on the status that they select. So you'll see here that this is my user right here. You'll see that this user actually has multiple profiles. That's why you'll see that there's different IDs associated to him. So again, this is my staging account. So you're probably not going to have users that have multiple profiles or logging in. So in this case, I have my user, Tanner Ackman. He's set to available. You'll see that that is a green pin and it pinpoints its location. So what does that mean for your Tag App users? In order for your Tag App users to utilize the Tag App, they also have to have internet connection and also turn on their location services on their phone. So for that particular application, so that it can pinpoint their location onto a map when they select those statuses. Not only that, it also is a part of that of the event map as well too, to showcase your Tag App users where their actual pin location is. So this is all about status. When you get to the event side, is about where is their specific location, and you're able to look at breadcrumbs of where they were and where they're heading to. So those are the administrative items that I wanted to cover within Salamander Live. We'll come back to this as we start working through the Tag App, walking through those statuses so you can see exactly what that looks like within this resource availability list. All right, so let's get the Tag App up here. So here is the Tag App. So I want to talk a little bit about login real quick here. So you're going to see that once you log in, you get to this screen. But let me just pop up my PowerPoint one more time just so we could talk about login. So for the login process, we've streamlined it with the updated Amazon Cognito login screen that you see as you log into Salamander Live. So it's using that same authentication process. So this means that the login credentials you use to log into Salamander Live can be used to log into the inventory app. So that's the same if you have the track app or the inventory app. Same process, same screen. Similarly, if you have multi-factor authentication configured, that will also be activated when logging into the app. Again, that's an optional or it could be a required feature based off of your account administrators and what they set. For single sign-on users, I don't know if we have anybody on the call with single sign-on, but after logging in, you'll be redirected to your SSO identity provider's login page where your corporate credentials will need to be entered and authenticated. Once authenticated, the system is going to check to see if you have an existing user profile. If yes, you'll be logged into the Tag App contingent upon licensing and permissions set for your security user account. If no, the system's going to check to see if your account has an available Tag App license. If it is available, the license will be applied and your user profile is created with read-only access. So what that means is that your administrator is going to need to log into Salamander Live and give you permissions for the Tag App and link your security user profile to your people profile. If a Tag App license is not available, you're going to receive an error message and then the login process stops, which means you cannot get into the Tag App. And that is a sign for you to contact your account administrator. They'll contact their sales rep and then possibly need to get some additional licenses. So that is that process for logging in. Once you log in, this is the screen that you're going to see. So you'll see at the bottom, as I talked about earlier, there's 3 different sections: tag, events, messages. We're going to cover 2 of the 3. So tag section, think of this as the home page of the Tag App. You're going to see in here that there's 5 different sections in here. You have your QR code at the top there, plus a log out button. You have your user profile. You have your people profile, which is going to pull down data from your security or from your people profile record. You have an assigned section, which shows you all the events that you are joined in. And then you have the availability, which I just talked about, where you can turn your status on or off, depending on what is required by your organization. So let's break this down, talk about this. So this right here, the security user profile. So this is pulling down your picture if you have that within your LinkedIn linked people profile, your name, your ID, the account type, and then you're going to see your organization name. So something important on here, especially for those that change profiles, I do want to talk about this really quick here. Let me log out of this account. Let me just pull up a different account. Let me go back to Hank Hill really quick here. I want to talk about this here. For those that are using generic usernames, but are tying those profiles to a specific user. So if you're going in here and you're using generic usernames and you're just changing this out, you're tying this to different people in this case. So in this case, I can choose someone else to tie this to depending on the licensing. So again, that's how you remove licensing from one person to another is by changing the profile that it's connected to, and you can change the username and password. So if you do this where you remove the linked profile and you add in a different profile, as a Tag app user is using the app, they must log out and log back in to see the new user profile at the top here. So that's important. So very important. So if you tied, let's say they have multiple profiles and you link the wrong one, they'll have to log out, log back in to see the correct one linked if you go in and change it. So that's very important. So that's the only time that you'll ever need to log out of the Tag app is if something has changed with your security user profile. From there, beneath that is going to be your profile, qualifications, collections, and equipment. So this is pulling from your people record. So it's going to look exactly like what you see within Salamander Live. So if you tap on profile here, this is going to pull down your information from Salamander Live. So if you remember when you're filling out your profile, you have those multiple tabs at the top, like profile, more info, employment. You're going to see all that within the details side. Okay, so the details tab, there's two tabs, details, medical. So details, you're going to see here's your profile at the top here, more info, employment information, location, and contact information. Okay, so again, this is all based on what has been entered within Salamander Live for your record. From there, you can also go to the medical tab. Again, if you are an organization that collects medical information for your people, you'll see this listed here as well. So again, they can view their own medical information. Now, one thing to note with the medical tab, if you are an existing Tag app user, you know that within the existing Tag app, in order to view medical, you have to type in your password again. Not in this version. This version, you only have access to your medical information. You can view it at any time. Okay, so there's no permission set for medical. Also note that if you're actively in your profile and someone is updating your record or you update your record, in order to see the new information, you must back out and then go back in to see that. So that's going to be for all 4 of these tabs. Let's take a look at collections. So collections in this case, if you are part of any collections, you'll see that listed here. It'll show the collection name, ID, organization name, and then you'll have a check mark next to these if you are the leader, if the collection is active and deployable. So you'll see all this information. And again, this is all real time. So as they're updating this, anybody's updating this, you have to back out. You can go back in and see that updated information. Qualifications. So qualifications in this case are all the assigned and marked as encoded qualifications and training. So this is going to list here based off of your record. So you're going to see the name, the coding system, and then all the option information. So if there's a certification number, issue, and expire date. Again, as you know, those are optional, so you may not see that information. So in this case, like this one here is none, none, and none. Any that are expired, you're going to see that they're going to be listed in red. So if you look at this one's expired. So you'll see the name of that qualification is in red text as well as the expire date. So again, this is just a visual indicator to help the Tag app user to know that, hey, I've got an expired certification. I updated it or renewed it. I need to get that information to whoever is updating my record so that they can get this change as soon as possible. So let me just pull up Salamander Live really quick here just to showcase right here what I'm talking about when it comes to um, encoded qualifications. So just a review. So I'm going to go in here and look at um, Mr. Hank Hill. Qualifications. So this is for both qualifications and training. So as I assign the qualification, I'm just going to select this one really quick here. It's this button right here, this encode. So you have to assign it and it has to be encoded. So this is going to be for both qualifications and training. So as I encode this, which you'll see that has that indicator right there, if this person had a tag app, this will populate within that tag app. So that's qualifications. Last but not least is equipment. So this is related to inventory. So if this person is assigned equipment or any other inventory, it'll be listed here. So whether you have the asset management feature and are assigning it, or they're assigned equipment from another organization that has asset management, it'll be listed here. So you'll see the name of the item, the ID number, the organization belongs to, and how many that were issued. So any of these that has a quantity, you'll see that those are consumables. Any that has this icon with a hammer and wrench, that means that's a fixed asset. Okay. Again, as items are returned and issued, you have to back out to see the updated list. So that is the profile. Underneath this section is the assigned. So the assigned has two specific pieces of information that you're going to find on here. So there's two parts. One, it's going to list all the events the user is actively checked into, whether that's through the tag app or through another tracking application such as Salamander Live Events, the track app, Rapid Tag. Second, it contains the activity history for all events a user has been added to. So that's what this button right here is the activity, or I'm sorry, the event history with the activity history. So in our previous tag app, there used to be a different button or section down here. We just included it right here. So if you tap on that, that's going to show you a full history. So the event name, when it started, and if it ended. So if I take a look at this mock event 2, you're going to see here is my activity history. So on, off scene, en route, off scene, on scene, off scene, and you'll see the amount of time that was within those different assignments. So the tag app user has visibility to that. Underneath the assigned, I talked about it displaying all the events a user is actively checked into. So the user can actively and remotely join into the event, and how they do that is on the event side, which I'll showcase to you in a little bit here. Another way is if they were assigned through another tracking application. You'll see the assignment that they're assigned to and the event that they're part of listed here. So I'll showcase that in a little bit here once we get to the events. Beneath that is the availability. So I talked about that this is the area that allows the user to turn on their availability and select their availability status. So again, this here, it has to be turned on by the account administrator for them to even toggle this on. So that was that very first option for availability settings. Once that's turned on, the user can toggle that on. You'll see the default is available. From there, they can tap on that and they can select their status. So you'll see here is our list of all of our default. So you'll see available, busy, not available, and on call. Those are our default statuses. So for my account settings, I turn those on. Plus, I also turn on custom statuses. So that's why you have DND, do not disturb, not active, and on duty on here as well. So again, controlled by your account administrator. You can select whatever your status is, and it's going to send that directly and immediately up to Salamander Live to be pinned on that map. So in this case, if I just put on here that I am I'm on call. You'll see that if I go into the map, go to people, resource availability, oh, and wrong account. Let me just get out of this account real quick here. So people, resource availability, and you'll see I'm on call. You see that before I was available, now I'm on call. And it does pin on here. It's because I'm in the exact location as I was before, exact location as this person, which is on my other device. So the pin is actually underneath here. Okay, so you're going to see that. So those are the two default pins that will showcase on the map. Now you got custom statuses. If location was turned on, if you select those, they'll showcase on here as well. So in this case, if I go in here and I mark my status, let me just move this out to the side, mark my status to do not disturb, I can refresh the page and you'll see that that's red. And that will also pin on the map because I have that as a show. Now, when you're in this people list, you'll see that there is these three dots. That's more options. You'll see that that's columns. So you'll see underneath that because the map will always show. It's the one area where the map always shows. And you can go over here and you can change and add in your columns. So right here I have show location is true, which means I know that it's pinning over here. Okay, so that's how the resource availability map works with the tag app. So again, based off on what the tag app user is selecting. From here, let's move on to the QR code. So again, as you know, the tag app is to be used as that electronic badge. So instead of carrying a physical ID card, they can carry their phone with the tag app and they'll have their QR code get scanned into the event as needed. So at the very top, you're going to see that QR code button. All you do is tap on that and you're going to see that we've updated this. So there's a new look and feel with this. So instead of just a QR code, you're going to have more information. So it's going to show you, so the person that's scanning is going to give them visibility saying, oh, here is this person, there's their picture, their name, their ID, their organization that they're affiliated with, and then you'll see a list of all their active qualifications. So active means not expired. It has to all be current and it has to be encoded. So they have that full list to see there as well. And then this QR code can be scanned into any of those tracking applications. Okay. So that is the tag section. Now let's move on to the events section. So the events section, this is for remote check-in. So this is where the tag app you can say, I am on my way, I'm en route to this event that I'm responding to or that I have accepted the job assignment. So from here, you're going to see the list of events that's being pulled from Salamander Live. More than likely in your organization, you're not going to have a long list of different types of events that you're going to be joining. Again, this is my staging training account, so I've got a bunch of events that I can select from. More than likely, your tag app users maybe have one or two. Okay, so I created this event earlier today called Event 1.20. So that is the event I'm going to join. So in this case, if they're looking at joining an event, they have to know the event name, tap on it, and you're going to see the event details. So it's going to show the event name, organization name, when it started, how long it's been running for. If there's a run number, again, this is controlled by whoever created the event. And then you're going to see counts for resources. So these are active resources that are currently within the event. So we've got 10 responders already there, no equipment, no collections, no patients, no civilians. If I'm ready to join this event, there's a join button at the top right. So all I need to do is tap join. As I tap join, it's going to put me into the default assignment called en route. So it's telling me that I'm en route on my way. And what this also does is it marks this and sends this information to Salamander Live to the event map. So you're going to see me pinned. There's going to be a blue pin with me showcasing that's when I remotely join the event. Other things that occur in here, you'll see in here, if I go to the tag, I can navigate outside of this without ever leaving the event. So if you leave the event, that moves you off scene. So puts you off scene. So if I move to the tag app, you're going to see that now under the assigned, I am currently a part of an event called Event 1.20. My current assignment is called En route. And you'll see in there, there's that forward arrow. I can tap on that. It takes me to the exact same event screen. So you can only join one event at a time through the tag app, but you can be a part of multiple events. So let me showcase that as well. So this again is just giving you as a tag app user visibility to see all the events that your ID has been tied to. So I'm going to go to events in this case, and I'm going to add this person to a new event. I'm going to add them to this one called Moosewood Games. And go to my chart. I'm just going to add this person to Moosewood Games. I'm going to add them to Team Security. Actually, Parking Security. So add people. Choose the correct one because I have 3 in here. It's ending in -12. Click Save. It's going to refresh in here. So now I'm currently in Parking Security. There I am. Apologize if it's a little bit small. Minimize this. If I go into the tag app, I tap my tag, you're going to see that it's synced. And now I see that I have another event in here called Moosewood Games that I'm a part of. And I am in the Parking Security assignment. The difference between the two is that you do not see a pin here and you do not see that forward button. This is something that was joined outside of the tag app, and so it must be managed outside of the tag app. So that's the difference between the two. You have to see this forward button and then this pin right here. So this pin is telling you that you're pinned to that event map. If you don't see that pin, that means you don't have location services turned on. So what we've also done within the tag app is that if you don't turn on your location services for the tag app as you're joining an event, you're going to see a little pop-up that says, do you want to turn on your location services? Either add it to always allow or while using the app, which we recommend the minimum while using the app so that it sends your location up. So in this case, if I'm en route, let's go to that map and go to my event, 1.20, go to my map, and there I am. And you'll see in here that there's history. So if I start moving, if I went out my car and I started driving around, you'll see I'll be able to look at history. So if you have multiple tag app users, you can click on this and then look at history. And then it'll only showcase this one person versus your maybe 50 other tag app users that's en route to the event. And you can see where I started from and then where I'm going to in the other direction. So you'll start seeing these different pins. So the pins, they will pin every 5 meter, and they're also pinging and sending that information up to SalamanderLive. So every 5 meters. So that is the event map. Now you're not going to see it here, but we do have another feature coming to SalamanderLive on here that's going to showcase the assignment name and the pin color. So it's going to show you that this person is active, but if they are idle and they left, and meaning that they went off scene, you're going to see that blue pin turn to gray so that you can still view the history. The reason why we did that is so that you can still see history for that person that was on scene, but they left. So you can still see history. So anybody that's remotely joined into the event, they'll be listed there. Blue pin active, gray pin inactive. Now from here, I can manage this right from Salamander Live if I want to, or I can manage it through the track app. So from here, as I'm moving this person from assignment to assignment, so currently this person is en route. So you'll see it here. I can move this person through the track app or through Salamander Live. So that's the only assignment through the tag app. From here on out, if I wanted to manage their different assignments, I have to use another tracking application. So again, I'm using Events Pro. Click in the checkbox under the roster, click the move button. I can move this person to a different assignment. So in this case, I can choose on scene, move, and now it's going to show me that I'm on scene. In the tag app, I can go in here, look at the activity, and you'll see I was moved from en route to on scene. So as I'm being moved throughout the event with those other tracking applications, I'll be able to see those timestamps in here. The details tab just gives you the same info as you saw earlier. So just how many responders are in the event. If you want to leave the event, you can tap leave. And it removes you from the event, puts you off scene. And it removes it from the assign. So in order to see the assign history, tap the history and you'll see right there event 1.20. It's still in progress, but I'm no longer part of the event and you'll see off scene right there. In Salamander Live, if I refresh this, go to the chart and refresh this, or I apologize, not the chart, the map. So this is where we're going to add in that additional pin and it's going to be gray. It's not here yet, but it's coming soon. So it'll be, by the time we release it, you'll see those different changes within the map. Now to move me out of that one event called Moosewood Games, I have to go to Moosewood Games to remove me. So you'll see in here that I'm still in that event called Moosewood Games. You see that? Parking security. So I have to go in here to the Moosewood Games one. I have two of them. This one right here. Go to roster. Find my person. If this is the correct one and it's not the correct one, let me go to the other one. There I am. Move me off scene. Move. Refresh. So to refresh, don't do it from the top here. You'll see that there is, you can't see it really well, but on my side, there is a box around here. Tap on that and just wipe down. Just tap on that and swipe down. And as you swipe down and it's refresh, you'll see that's going to disappear from this list. Okay. So that's what you're going to see. Okay. Any questions on the tag app? Any questions on the tag app? So that's the events side. There's that third section called messages. This is coming in a future release. If you tap on that, it says not activated. So we are adding messaging feature within the tag app. I haven't seen it, so I don't have much information to tell you about it. But as we get more information, we'll communicate that out through either the bulletin or additional emails. So that is the tag app for you. I just wanted to showcase this before release. So for those that are on the call that have the tag app, once it's released, you can uninstall your tag app and then reinstall in the updated tag app. And you'll see all the new changes in there. Any questions for me? Any questions? No questions? All right. Well, everybody, thank you all so much for joining in on the call. If you have questions, feel free to email them out to me. I'll put my contact information on the screen here. So please reach out. And again, just look for the emails and the bulletin that's going to show the date of release of the Tag app when you will be ready to go in and install the new updated version. Everybody, again, thank you all so much for joining me on the call today. Please come back and join me next month. All right, everybody, have a great day. Take care now.